Talks. I'm Vicki. I'm your host today, and we have a great show for you. I hope you will be entertained and informed. My guest today is an old friend of mine, Jeannie Zierhofer. I met Jeannie in Toastmasters, and we're going to talk about the exciting things that Jeannie is doing in her life and the successes that she has. So, Jeannie, tell us, where did you come from? Are you a native Charlottean?
Well, I am not. I originally came from Boston, Massachusetts. I moved down here in about 2009, 2010. Mm-hmm. Did a little bit of commuting back and forth from Boston to here to get settled. And then we moved down here full-time probably in 2010. Mm-hmm. I come from a small town called Lexington, Mass., which is right outside of Boston. Mm. I'm married of 25 years.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yes.
And I have two, I want to say children because they're my children, but they are young men. They're 24 and 22.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's how long I've been here, and it's been quite a journey getting here.
Yes. So what did you do when you first came to Charlotte?
When I first moved down to Charlotte, I actually commuted back and forth to Massachusetts for the first about year and a half. I've been a real estate broker for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So I had quite a bit of book of business up there. Mm-hmm. So I commuted back and forth, and I was packing up my parents' house to move them down to Florida full time.
Oh, okay.
So it was a very, very stressful back and forth ping pong kind of thing that I was doing. But very, very important move for all of us.
Okay.
I'm thermally challenged, which means I don't do well in the cold or the snow.
Thermally challenged, yes. There's a lot of us that are thermally challenged, yes.
So that's how I got here.
So, but you don't do real estate anymore.
I am a full-time real estate broker, but I do not actively do real estate.
Okay.
I do a whole bunch of other things.
So what are some of the other things you've done years ago?
I got involved with taking care of my mom and my mother-in-law.
Oh, caretaker.
In my shift here. And that was part of the reason why I moved. I moved to get my mom down to Florida with my dad in one spot. And so I could be closer to them because Boston was just too far.
Right.
And then I moved my mother-in-law from Maine.
Right.
Both of them suffered from Alzheimer's, and I spent 7 years helping them get over that cusp of Alzheimer's.
That was a tough job.
You know what? It was, and I am so grateful that I was allowed the availability and ability to do it with the support of my husband and my family. But I had to give up the real estate career because I couldn't do both.
Right, no.
I couldn't balance it because people give you their homes to sell for them.
Right.
It is one of the biggest things they do, one of the biggest investments they make.
Yes.
And
yes.
I was distracted
Yes.
with my mom
Yes.
and my mother-in-law.
Yes.
So with full ethics, I said, I can't do that.
Yeah. I have a friend that has her 92-year-old mother lives with her. And she's her primary caretaker, and I help out, so I see what she goes through, and I just commend you for doing that.
Yeah, everybody needs to step back, and we need to bring the family back in.
Yes.
We need to be taking care of each other and helping each other out. Families across have just spread out, and they're all over the place. We really need to work on bringing that family unit back together.
Exactly, and taking care of. They took care of us when we were babies, so we should take care of them when now they're babies in their old age.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not far from it. I'm getting there.
I got your back, Vicki. I got your back.
So now I know who to go to when I need some caretaking, because you've got experience.
And my two boys do as well.
Yeah. So what else in your past? What are some lessons learned from your past?
Well, a huge lesson learned, and I had such great support from my mom, was back in the late 80s, I had a battle and a half, and anybody that knows me would tell you that, with drugs and alcohol. To the point that my father said, she's not going to make it to 26.
Wow.
She's not going to make it. My dad threw me out of the house because he couldn't watch it anymore, and it was just an ugly, ugly battle.
But he did the right thing.
He did, and any parents listening, unfortunately, the hardest thing to do is you got to stop enabling them.
Yes.
And that's what people were doing. They were
Yes.
helping me get worse.
Yes.
Instead of
Yes.
saying the tough love and let go and let go and let whatever happens and whatever path we choose is what we choose.
So how did you get past that?
A lot of hard work.
Yes.
It was Thanksgiving Eve in 1989. Wow, that's a long time ago. It feels like it was yesterday sometimes. And I was actually hitchhiking.
Yeah, we
At
used to
night.
do that.
We don't do that anymore, people.
No, not anymore.
Hitchhiking at night, and we went and I made it home. But I got home and I went, I shouldn't be alive. I can't keep doing this. There's a problem here. And it wasn't the fact that my dad threw me out or this one. It was just that light bulb. So I actually reached out to a friend of mine and I said, I don't know what you did, but I know you don't drink anymore. What do I need to do? And he told me the steps I needed to take. And I thought, I can't do that. I can't do that. But when it comes, then you've been in a situation where you're thinking, this is life or death. It was life or death for me. So I absolutely had to do something about it. So I actually went into a rehab for a few days. They had no beds because it was Thanksgiving. Then I went into a rehab for a few days, which was horrible. And then I went to a halfway house in Dorchester, Massachusetts, which, how can I explain what part of town Dorchester is to you? It's a dangerous part of town. It's not a place I ever went and partied, so to speak. So it was very scary for me, but I went into a halfway house called the Shepherd's House there, and I stayed in that halfway house for 4 months and really said, enough is enough, and I really need to do something about it.
So did you ever go to AA?
I did. I went to AA, and back then we still had a really healthy Narcotics Anonymous. So I went to both groups of meetings because the younger people seemed to be at the Narcotics Anonymous, where it was a different group over at the Alcohol Anonymous. Can I tell you the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
I love them. They saved my life, but they also grabbed hold of me and kept me stuck in recovery for 26 years with a very fearful mindset that if I ever left and stopped going to meetings and stopped doing this, that I was going to drink again, and I was going to drink again. And it really, really was difficult to get past that, because what's the point of me not drinking and not doing drugs if now I can't live life because I'm so fearful?
Right. But you got past that. You've moved on.
I moved on with a lot of help from getting out of my comfort zone and finding other people and other groups to go to. And I want to teach and show people how to move past that.
Ooh,
that is
that
one of the
sounds-
big passions that I have, because a lot of the reasons why I did the drugs and did the drinking, I've taken, a look at that and why that's happening and why that happened to me.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds wonderful. We could talk about that program and starting that up, because that's huge. Drugs, there's an epidemic. There's people that need help.
There's a lot of people that need help, and there's a lot of people that don't want to go to AA. They have an issue with the structure at AA or NA, and so we need to come up with another way. And a lot of it, I find out, is self-confidence and communication. They don't know how to communicate, and they don't have any confidence, because that was me.
Well, that makes me think of Toastmasters when you say communication and self-confidence.
Absolutely. Toastmasters, amazing nonprofit organization that I go to now, because that's where we met.
Yes.
And it is the best place to go and get the yuck out, Vicki.
The yuck out. That's right.
That's what I tell people all the time. Let's get the yuck out. Come to Toastmasters and get the yuck out.
And if any of our viewers don't know what Toastmasters is, you can go to Toastmasters.org. We are the largest and only self-help educational organization in the world, with over 360,000 members worldwide.
And I didn't even know about it.
I know, it's
Till
a
a few
best
years
kept
ago.
secret.
But we need to stop that. We need to change that. We need to make that not a secret anymore.
So tell us more about that, Jeannie.
After searching and realizing a lot of my drug and alcohol problem was self-confidence, communication, I started really seeking. And when I found Toastmasters, I found it through another company, Success Resources. And I took some training with them that helped me speak better and communicate better. When I was in recovery for 26 years, please don't go there, I knew that there was life after recovery and life after alcohol. There's that barrier. There's that barrier there. Like, what do we do next? And we're missing that piece. And I went seeking for it. And I really want to put together a program that's going to fix that piece. But Success Resources was that for me. So I went into their program. They have a free program, and one's coming here to Charlotte soon, and it's called The Millionaire Mind. And it's a 3-day program that anybody can sign up to, and it's really intensive. And that's where I started with that. And the women from there said to me, do you want to be a public speaker? And I said, oh, no, I never want to speak in public. I don't want to be a public speaker. Because all I could think of is standing on a podium telling my story of being a drug addict and alcoholic over and over and over again. I wanted a new story. And my new story was the picture that I was painting. Because people forget, we are the author of our lives. We tell our own story.
That's right.
So how do I want my story to go? I needed to rewrite my story, and that's what I've done. And that's what I want to teach other people to do. Rewrite their story. Don't be stuck in the past. And as much as AA and NA saved my life, it also crushed me because I didn't know how to move forward.
Right.
And when I went to all these trainings and different events, a woman said, no, really, Jeannie, you need to go to Toastmasters. And I said, what the heck is a Toastmaster? Because I'm thinking, here I am, a recovering drug addict. What do you think, Toastmasters, right? Champagne, we're toasting.
Cheers.
So I had no idea why anybody would say that to me.
Right.
But when she explained to me what it was, and she had been in Toastmasters for over 6 years, I went and looked for meetings. And I came back to her, and I went to a couple of meetings, and I said, that's a little too rigid and stringent for me. It's a little too structured for me because I'm not real good on that whole structure thing, till I found you. Woohoo! And your meeting. Meeting's very structured, but I didn't feel judged. I really felt like I could go there and do my little speeches and get really good feedback, and nobody was going to judge me for saying, so, because that's what Toastmasters is all about, is helping you not do those things, not put in those crutch words and those fillers, and getting the yuck out.
Yeah, getting the yuck out. I like that. I think we should put that on our logo. Get your yuck out here.
Yeah, that's it. Not Toastmasters. Get your yuck out.org.
So after you went to this group that you were in and you went to Toastmasters, what are some of the other, I know you have a lot of things you're into. Tell us about some of those.
Coming out of my shell. I am actually the chairperson for All Ladies League in Charlotte, North Carolina, which nobody's ever heard of because we're really trying to go for 1 million women strong.
Wow.
1 million women strong. So it's called, I went to the Women's Economic Forum in India, where I got an award for Women of Excellence in engaging communities in effective communication and communicating, which was super, super, super exciting for me.
Well, that isn't all you did. There was a stage.
There was a big stage.
Big stage.
There was a big stage that I got on, and I got to interview Dr. Harbeem Arora. I had never interviewed anybody ever in my life, and she said, could somebody please, and I raised my hand, Like, I never hesitated. Everybody said to me, what are you raising your hand for? I said, I'm not sure. I could have just volunteered to take out the trash. I don't really know. And she said, come on up here and you're going to spend the next 20 minutes interviewing me. And I thought, what an honor. Dr. Harbim Aurora is a woman of influence. She has created a group of women to empower women, to make change in the world. There's over 100,000 women right now. I think we're up to 200-something thousand. We want 1 million women by 2020. That is our mission.
Yeah.
And our mission is to make a better world for everyone. And it's going to be strong women stepping up to the plate and saying enough's enough. And that's a lot of why I'm here tonight. People look at me and don't realize that we all have life struggles.
Oh, yeah.
It's what you do about it. I have fallen down, I can't tell you how many times, but I get up every single time. Just keep getting up and moving forward.
Right. So how many people did you speak to in India?
We had 70,000 live streamed, which I really didn't know at the time. Like, I really wasn't paying attention to that because I think I might have choked a little bit if I had. I have never watched that interview. I've never watched the interview. I actually was going to message them today and ask them if they know where it is because I never found the footage for the interview. But I guess it went really well because she came up with an idea the next day she wears these glorious dresses, beautiful. And she came up with the idea to auction off her dresses in trade for us pledging that we would bring more women forward with us.
Wow.
Her mom makes her dresses, and they are just beautiful, elegant dresses. Every dress she's in is new and just gorgeous.
I've seen some of your pictures of when you were in India and the outfits that they wear. Yeah, it's gorgeous. But didn't you give a speech on the stage or something?
I gave another speech that was what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Is that the one you want to talk about a little bit?
I just want to hear more about what you do and the things, what you've overcome and where you are now, what you're doing with your life. And that's what I want to hear about. And I want my viewers to hear that too.
That was one of the first times that I ever went out and said, hey, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's what you do about your obstacles in life. And that was one of the first times I shared with all kinds of people exactly what I went through. Because I believe if I can reach one, I can teach one. And anybody that ever needed help or wants to move forward with the program, I'm in.
And there's a lot of networking that can go on.
Yeah.
The women that you meet. But to be a member of this economic forum, is it free? Is it going to cost me a lot?
All Ladies League is free.
Wow.
But we want strong women, which means all women. We want women that want to help other women. It's not about me. It's about us. It's about collaboration. It's about working together. It's about, again, reach one, teach one.
Right.
It's about helping and pulling the rest of us up. Reach down, grab another one. Reach down and grab another one. An overused word, because it's what it means, is empowering.
You know, I'd known you for 2 years and never knew some of their background about your bout with the drugs and alcohol. Because it's amazing how you've come through that. But there's so many people out there today that need to hear this and know that you don't have to be stuck in that.
No, you don't have to be stuck in your story.
Yeah.
And you don't have to tell your story over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Trust me when I tell you, it was bad, it was ugly.
Yeah, sure.
Because somebody will come to me and say, oh, but I had it worse than you. Great, look at you now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This isn't a contest. This is life.
Yeah.
It's what are you going to do with that? How are you going to empower other people to get out of that ugly place? Because it's ugly, it's scary, and they feel that there's no way out.
Right.
And there's a
right.
way out.
And helping one another.
Absolutely.
That's what we should be doing more of.
I
We've
agree.
kind of lost a little bit of that.
With
in our quest
communication,
for
everybody.
success. Let me look at my electronics.
I went out to dinner the other night, and I sat down, and I looked over at a family, and the whole entire family is looking down on their phones. Not a single one. It's like we are right now, having a conversation. None of them are communicating. They have, and I wonder to myself, somebody said, well, I didn't know my kids were doing that. Ask them. We used to sit down at dinner every night, even the nights that we would run out to baseball, because my kids played baseball. We would sit down to dinner every night, and I would ask my kids, what did you do at school?
Yeah.
What did you do? Ask your kids what they're doing. Communicate.
Exactly.
Communicate with your kids, because your kids are going to tell you. Your kids are going to tell you what goes on at school. I knew my kids were in trouble and was driving to the school as principals were calling me, because no, I don't have angels. And they would say, how did you know to come here? I said, my other son told me my other son was in trouble. Or one of the kids would literally tell me.
Right, right.
Talk to your kids. Communicate with them. You'll know if they're in trouble. Put the phone down. Put the phone down. Have a no phone at the table rule. I think there's a commercial on TV right now about this too.
Yeah,
I don't know what it
yeah.
is, but it's a huge problem.
It is. It is.
It's a huge problem, and it has been for a while.
Yeah, yeah. I just got back from a trip to California, and they had those fires out there, and we were out there that very week. And I was sitting in the kitchen because we had some refugees, 9, to come stay with us. And he and I were talking, and he got up, and he went into the den, and he came back, and he said, come here and look at this. There was about 6 people, parents and kids, sitting in there, and each one of them were on their phone. They're all sitting on the yeah. It's amazing.
Not, just
Exactly.
crazy,
But communication, that's where we need, and that's what we like about Toastmasters.
Yep, I
is
agree.
we communicate.
I agree. And I went seeking communication. I went seeking the confidence. I went seeking for that. Once I realized and once I understood that my story wasn't being stuck in AA. There was more to life, that I needed to get out there. So I asked for people, don't be stuck in AA.
Mm-hmm. Really don't
Step
be
out.
stuck anywhere. Wherever you are,
Step
just keep
out.
growing and keep learning.
Step out.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
really scary when you're in, because you're really afraid to step out of there, because you know that there's such a strong hold there to keep you sober. But after a few years, keep your foot in the door, but start experiencing life. Start
Right.
experiencing life.
And that's where it kind of ends, and that's, yeah.
Yeah.
And they do have sponsors to help, but they still
Absolutely.
need more than that. They need that.
Absolutely.
We've got to work on that program and
I
try
agree.
to get them
A secondary
past
program.
that.
I
Yeah,
agree.
if anybody wants to volunteer, let us know.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
we'll
in.
definitely work on it. But you have a training spirit about you. You want to teach others, help others, share the things that you love. Because I know you love Toastmasters and you share and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm doing a speech tomorrow
Yes.
at Toastmasters, which people can come to visit for free. It's like 12:30 to 1:30 on Fridays. People can come visit for free. And I'm doing a speech tomorrow on, I forget what I even called it, but what it's going to be about is goal setting.
Yes.
And how to end 18 strong so you can build into 2019. Because
Exactly.
what happens is we go to sleep. We're all sleepers now that we get into the holidays. And everybody says, oh, it's in the holidays.
It's the turkey.
Oh, I'll do it after January 15th. And what happens is it's now Valentine's Day of 2019, and you're wondering why your business or life isn't where you want it to be. You have to keep momentum going. You have to keep that going. So that's what my speech is on tomorrow, just to keep the momentum going, whatever everybody's doing.
Jeannie and I have been talking about her trip through alcoholism and drug addiction and AA and the Success Forum and Toastmasters. What is next on the agenda? What else are you? I know something you're doing, and I love it. Tell me about it.
I'm going to.
Tell them about it.
As I was shifting again in life, because life is shifting, people, we shift from one characteristic to another, from, a mother of babies to whatever you're doing in life. Life is all about shifting and how we shift. So excited. I was going to go back to being a real estate broker after I lost my mom and my mother-in-law. God bless them both. They're in a better place. That's a tough disease. I was at a training and I was getting ready to go back to being a real estate broker here in Charlotte area. Had my broker's license, was ready to just put my feet to the fire and start building a real estate business here because my business was in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh God, that's so exhausting to me. The thought of doing that all over again, because I had a really successful business in Boston.
It's a lot of hard work.
It was a lot of hard work. And I was a 6-figure residential real estate broker up in Massachusetts, and I thought, oh my gosh, I know what I did to get there. I don't know if I want to do that again. But it's what I knew. It's what I knew.
Safe.
Thanks, Vicki. Kind of threw me under the bus on that one. Yeah, it was my safety net. I went to a couple of girls that I was rooming with at this training that I was at, said, oh, you got to come see this woman, Sherry. You got to come see this woman, Sherry. And I said, what does Sherry do? And they said, you don't know who Sherry is? Sherry Tree? And I said, I have no idea who Sherry Tree is. They said, she teaches sales. I said, oh. Another sales training. I had been to several, and I'm not going to list them all now. We don't have that kind of time. Trainings throughout my life, sales trainings as a real estate broker. Always more training, more training, more training. Because if we're not growing, we're either stagnant or dying. So we constantly need to be evolving. We need to fill these things, guys. That's why we have them. And so they said, no, you got to come. And I'm like, oh, guys, I really need to pack my stuff. I need to go to my dad. They're like, no, you need to come. So I went downstairs. This woman was probably on stage, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And I went, are you kidding? Are you kidding? She teaches personality, methodology, sales training. So have you ever heard of the different systems out there? Because everybody wants to compare it to like
Myers-Briggs.
And in some of those other ones.
There's another one. I can't remember that one.
There is tons of them. So what I want to tell you is we're exactly the same, but totally different. Both of those systems are based on psychology, which is great.
Yeah.
And when you use them, you learn so much about yourself. And ours is based on biology. B-U-Y. And somebody makes a buying decision and how their values are. So it's totally different. And she teaches us how to know what to say to the other person. Genius. So at the end of her talk, of course, I was like a stalker. I ran over to her. I'm like, okay, what is this training? How do I get involved? I want to go to your training. So I went to her training, and I'm like, okay, I want more. How do I do this? Because it was my opinion, just mine, that every real estate agent, because that's my background, could absolutely use this. And as I went through the actual training, the 2-day training program that she had, I went, oh my gosh. This is where I had all these aha moments of a lot of reason why I did certain things that I did in my life was I had no clue how to communicate. None. Zero, zilch. And I would put my foot in my mouth.
Who hadn't done that?
All the time. But I don't do that anymore because I know what to say. I know how to say it, and I know how to do personality science. And yeah, it is a science.
It is.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you want to learn a little bit more? You want to play with me?
Y'all want to learn too? Let's go. Let's do it. Teach me. The teacher's at work.
So I'm
you have cards. We're going to play cards.
We're going to play cards.
Yay.
We're going to play cards, and then we may play with a few glasses and a few things. Okay, you ready?
You ready?
I'm going to ask you to please take these cards. I'm going to ask you to read the information on the front of those cards. I'm going to have you put them in order with what's most like you on the top, least like you on the bottom, and that's going to help me better serve you. And save us both some time, Vicki.
Oh, we're all into saving time. Yes, because we all have too much to do, right? Okay, you want me to turn them towards you?
Sure, you can just put them in order.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oops, upside down. Okay. All right.
Excellent.
That's me.
So what did this just do?
I don't know.
This just told me when I talk to Vicki, then I need to speak to her in such a manner. Vicki likes you to be on time.
Oh, yeah.
So don't be late.
That's right.
Vicki wants me to be responsible. She likes structure. She likes systems. But at the same time, she likes fun. She likes excitement. And, you know, I've known you for a little bit now, so I think you're really close in these two. Like, really close. Which means she's what we call a blueprint, action, nurturer, and knowledge. It's called bank. And Vicki is a true bank.
Yay! That means I have lots of money.
Woo, woo.
No, that's not what it means. I'm my own bank, right?
Isn't that
That's
awesome?
true. It is.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to do that?
To read these cards?
Yeah, and put them in order. I don't know.
Not
I didn't
long
time you.
because, you know, knowledge. I'm sorry. I'm not the brightest light bulb. The knowledge card actually has a light bulb down there. Do you see that? And they like the big picture. I've heard people before. You see the big picture? I don't see any big picture. Give me some structure. I want a checklist.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And that was the funny thing about Toastmasters. When I would talk to you about it, and you would talk about the rules, and I'd be like, well, can I do this, Vicki? And you'd be like, no, the rule says this. And I would be like, well, why can't we do this?
Gotta follow those rules. And nurturing. See, I am not a nurturer, man. You know, I would have told her when she got kicked out of her daddy's house, just get up and get over it, right?
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. So here's makes it even more fun. We have these cards for kids.
So anybody, any age.
Yep.
102 to 102.
Yep. And it takes less than 90 seconds.
But this, when I look at this, it tells me more about me. That I don't always have to be so structured. Because I can't expect everybody to do that. I remember when I used to work in a past life, people wouldn't make a decision. It's like, I want you to make this decision I'm fixing to make. So why can't you be as fast as I am at making a decision? And not everybody's like that, so you have to understand.
Vicki, you know I like my glasses. Vicki wears these glasses. So she likes everything structured and systems and responsibility and duty and rules.
Processes. Planning. Oh, I'm big on planning. Probably too much.
I wear these glasses. I'm very understanding to Vicki. But I would much rather throw these out the window. I really don't like the rules. So we all have 4 different personalities. And basically, this teaches you how to understand the other person's personality in less than 90 seconds.
Well, you have some evidence right there.
Yep. Scientifically validated to predict buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. The university, the San Francisco State University, did an independent white paper study and found out that bank does, in fact, predict buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. Boom.
So what you're saying, if I am a blueprint and you come in to sell me something and you're telling me, oh, this is great for the community, that doesn't do a thing for me.
Nope. I need to tell you that we have a system in place that we can give you predictable results that is going to give you a great return on investment, but it's going to stay within your budget, Vicki.
Yeah. You got me.
And we're going to have fun.
Oh, yeah, we got to have fun.
Yep.
That red card's fun.
Yeah, so I teach people how to do this. I teach them how to do it on the fly. I teach them how to use the cards. And that's what we train. Excuse me. I lost my voice. That's what we train on.
You've been talking a lot. Mm-hmm. But I have seen you actually do a write-up, and you will actually incorporate all 4 of these banks, all 4 of your codes in that write-up instead of just targeting one audience.
We have, part of our training is called power scripting. And what we do is we teach you how to write to all 4 personality codes. So if you're advertising, or say you were looking to hire somebody, human resources, huge. Stop hiring the same person over and over again. Learn who you're looking for that will work with your team. And then go ahead and teach them the product. So it's amazing. It's amazing on how it works.
Wow. I want to hear more about this.
I've got more to tell, Vicki.
That's good.
I always do.
We can put our glasses on.
Absolutely.
And maybe we could take another break. And don't go away. We'll be right back with more from Jeannie and Bank. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming back to Vickie Talks. We're here with Jeannie Zierhofer, and we have been talking about personality profiling using the bank system. Tell us some more, Jeannie. This is real. I hope y'all are enjoying this as much as I am.
So we all have 4 different personality types. This has been around since 400 BC. This is nothing new with Hippocrates and the 4 temperaments. But how we switched it to values and how Sherry's made this amazing system, she made it to close more sales, which is awesome. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. But what's happened here is family dynamics. You got a child that wears these glasses, and he needs structure, or she needs structure, and she needs this kind of a boundaries and rules and regulations. And the parents are wearing these glasses, and they're all about, let's go, fun, da-da-da. And the child has no clue what's going on. We have gone into different areas, and we've spoken to families that have learned our system and learned how to do the personality assessment, because I'm a certified and licensed bank personality and sales trainer. That is a mouthful and a half, Vicki. And we go in and we help them, and they come in and they do our training, and they go home and go, oh my gosh, no wonder my son's like, what's wrong with you, Mom and Dad? Like, where's the structure? Pack the bag. Where do I, what do I wear? Because of the values are so totally different. So this training has taught people how to put their marriages back together by understand communication.
Well, that's interesting.
It is funny because my husband is a very high knowledge, and I would talk to you and show you the knowledge card some more, but we lose it in the background here. But the knowledge really likes expertise. They really like to know, like you said, the big picture, competence, and I'm all about the nurturer. So my husband would be like, he's not going to get me the right thing for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I need to just get over that. My husband bought me, after 23 years, he's going to kill me, silver earrings. I've never worn silver, people. Silver earrings in dark chocolate. I wear gold, and I like milk chocolate. And that's not because he doesn't love me. It's because he's a knowledge brain person. He doesn't see all that stuff. And that's what we're saying, because people would feel, oh, he doesn't love me because he bought me silver or whatever. That's not it. They're just different thinkers than the others. And you have to know that. And knowing that helps keep marriages together, helps keep partnerships, family dynamics. Both my sons, one of them, total action, and he's a mechanic. My husband, very knowledge, and he's a mechanic. And they would be out in the garage, and they would be butting heads. I mean, fighting. And I taught my son how to utilize bag. Just a 15-minute conversation, a couple of suggestions. About 3 months passed, my husband came up to me, and he said, "Did you notice how much Jeffrey's matured?" And I said, "Our Jeffrey?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Not exactly." And he said, "Yeah, he comes out to the garage. He's got, this idea, and he gives me all the information." What Jeffrey was doing was using bank.
Yeah.
Because he was all about just jumping in and ripping the motor apart, and my husband and him would fight, like I said, and now he was actually speaking his personality code.
Wow.
And I looked at my husband and I started laughing. And he said, "Why are you laughing?" And I handed him the cards. My husband never even looked at the cards, had no idea what I was doing, because we just, we do our own thing, and I'm having fun and he supports me. It's a good thing. And he said, "You use that hocus pocus on me." And I said, "It's not hocus pocus if it's scientifically validated, and it apparently works." Because you just told me it did, John. And that's my husband's name. You know that. So it absolutely works if you implement it.
Yeah. You have to
It's
learn
amazing.
it first, and that's what you're trying to do, is teach people.
Teach people. I
How
would
simple
love,
it is.
That is the whole holy grail of sales. This is the simplest sales tool I've ever seen in over 30 years. To know exactly what to say to that other person before you ever pick up the phone or walk in. You'll know what triggers a yes and tripwires a no.
Right.
But just take it out of the sales equation, just out in life. If we all tried to take that extra effort to learn this and communicate, here's where we're going. One world, one language. The language of learning each other's values. The language of bank is what we call it, because it's BANK, Blueprint, Action, Nurture, Knowledge. That's the name of the system.
Yeah.
So I would love to go into, I've been to one woman's shelter, Better Women, and help them realize that they were picking the same guy over and over again, wondering why the same thing was happening.
Wow.
So going in there and teaching some women these skills, I'd do that again and again and again and again and again.
Right.
Or going into any nonprofit out there that's looking for some extra training or anything like that, call me. I would love to go help them.
Yeah.
Because this is all about giving back. This is all about working as a community together to teach people how to effectively communicate and put these down.
When you first showed this to me several months ago, and I have been looking more at family dynamics, and I've seen them fighting, and you're thinking, if they were just know how to talk to one another.
Yeah.
Because I could think of, this would have helped me with my ex-husband. Maybe all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a joke. But anyway.
I know, but I was trying not to go there because I'm like, oh.
But just looking back and wow. I think that's great.
It's an amazing tool.
It is. It's great because we did a session on family relationships. But then it helps with sales. We had a guy, a very good friend of mine, my insurance agent, and he actually said something about, well, I go into a house and one of them is knowledge and they just want all the facts and the bottom line. And then you've got the wife that is a nurturer and she just wants to know the fuzzy and that can make a difference. You've got to talk both those languages to both of those people to get that sale.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've really got to walk away from the sale to let the sale happen, because that knowledge person needs some time to do their own research and look up all the information. So you need to give them the time to do that, but always make the next appointment before you leave that appointment. That's sales 101,
But knowledge
right?
people, didn't you teach us knowledge people don't like to be wrong?
Well, most knowledge people do want to be right, and that's why they don't want to make the wrong decision.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you need to let them go and do their own research.
Yeah, I think my ex-husband was a knowledge. Yeah,
Yeah. So you need to agree to disagree.
Yeah, exactly.
Agree to disagree. I had another story with the bank. I did a little online thing with bank. I'm just teaching them like the cards or whatever with some young girls and their assistant coach. Come to find out the assistant coach had slept on the couch the night before because he was in the doghouse. Mm-hmm. He was in the doghouse because he absolutely positively had to be right on an argument he was having over tacos. And something about meat and tacos. See, most of our fights are irrelevant.
Exactly.
Are so irrelevant.
Can't even remember what it was about.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And in the 10 minutes that I talked to him about the values and the system and what his values were and what hers were, he was like, oh my gosh, I know what I did. I said, you needed to agree to disagree and let it go. And give her a hug and a kiss because she was definitely a nurturer and he was definitely a knowledge. But he had to be right and he had to win. And I said, if you want to stay in that relationship, you need to agree to disagree because, there was no winning that argument. You slept on the couch. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But just knowing who I am was an eye-opener and just sold me on this personality. And then looking at other people and how they are. I'm still not good at recognizing other people, but I can see myself now with the blueprint and the processes, responsibility. It's just ingrained in me. I can't get over it. But I have to learn how not to impose that on other people and try to make them be that way. Mm-hmm. I have to accept them for who their personality is.
And just change some of your verbiage.
Yeah.
And don't be so upset when they're late.
Yeah.
And you've gotten really good at that because I was late the other day, and I'm not normally late. And you've gotten really good with that. And I think you know a lot more than you're letting on because I know I've gotten some messages from you, and I know you're out like, okay, people watching at the mall and having ice cream. This takes it to a whole new level trying to figure out what code they are, doesn't it? Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah.
Now you're like, I wonder what code they are. It is. We have a lot of fun with it. But I really think it could help so many people. I really think if we incorporated this with people in recovery or people actually still using that want to get clean or sober, and getting them that effective communication and getting them that confidence that they can walk into any room at any time and speak to anybody, boom. That's what we need. That's what we need.
Yeah. Because I know in Toastmasters, when I was a few years back, before I knew anything about this, because we got to get this done. We got to get this done. This is what needs to be done, and we need to get it done. And I need you to do this. And this lady was a nurturer, and it turned her off.
Yeah.
Because I was not talking to her in the nurturing language so she could buy into what I was wanting to do.
Yep.
So I think this would definitely help me in situations. And I pull back thinking, how can I talk to that person in the language that they want to hear, not the language Vickie is? Because I can't make everybody like me. That'd be a boring world, wouldn't it?
I know, but you're coming back to my training, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
I'll take it over and over and over.
Perfect.
We're gonna take a break here in a minute, but I want you to tell, and let's switch over to the business part. Over the family is very important, but there was a story that Mamie, your friend Mamie, told how she took a company that was going down the tubes and she saved them, and what she did with bank. So I want her to share with you that story because it is absolutely amazing. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Cool.
5, 4,
We're back already?
2, 1.
Thank you for coming back to Vickie Talks. I was telling you before the break, Jeannie is going to share this story that I never get tired of hearing about how Mamie saved this company. Take it away, Jeannie.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm honored to be able to say that Mamie is my friend, and she works with me and does training with me, and she's going to be here doing the training January 15th and 16th. She is an amazing woman. She learned bank and has been utilizing bank for the past 10 years. Wow. Amazing. Mm-hmm. She was working at and I have to be careful what I say, folks, so bear with me when I tell the story. She was working at a company, a very large company. She went and did the 2-day training like we've talked about. She came back from that training and was told that she was going to have to lay off a whole bunch of people. She is a nurturer, so of course that wasn't really what she wanted to do, but she's, very high in across the board, but she's a high nurturer, so that was not something that she wanted to do. And she said, well, what if we reutilized everyone? And they said, reutilize. And she said, would you give me the latitude to go in? And she did the personality assessment on every single employee, all the way up, all the way down, every person in that building. What ended up happening is they had people, imagine that, because we see this all the time. They had people in the wrong jobs. They had a high action guy leading the IT team. I mean, that's just not going to work, folks. What she did was she took 39 employees and reutilized them in a better spot in the company, not having to lay them off. They worked as a team now that everybody was in their right positions. They landed a multi-million-dollar, I think it was a huge, huge contract. Not only did it save the company, save the jobs, she landed a $50,000 bonus, brought her salary well over 6 figures. This was huge. It was a win, win, win by implementing a simple system. That's it. It was amazing.
When you said an IT department was run by an action person?
I don't know.
I would think action people would be salespeople. Rah, rah, rah. IT that's me, blueprint. I want that structure.
Yeah, and IT, is a lot of the knowledge.
Yeah,
a lot of the knowledge. Yeah, so big disconnect there. So they reutilized everyone. But see, that's what's happening. Nobody realizes that people are in the wrong position. So as a kid growing up, what did you learn? Get your foot in the door. Mm-hmm. Get your foot in the door. Mm-hmm. So we would take jobs that we probably shouldn't have, because I was raised, if you can just get your foot in the door, you can move your way up and around.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how we end up in the wrong job in the first place. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we stay moving within the company because the companies like to promote from within, which is a good thing. Don't stop. However, if they knew how to implement this system and they knew how to work these people, they would know how to get the right person at the right job. So it's so much fun to teach that internal communication and implementation.
And wouldn't an HR department need some? I mean, that's exactly what she did with the HR and moving people around.
I have so much fun working with HR departments. So much fun with them. Saving them time, saving them money, writing the right ad the first time, teaching that person to come in because they're hiring. They think it's the right person because everything over here on a piece of paper. But if they would hire the right person based on their code and how they're going to fit in with that team, boom, they hire the right person the first time, and they stop a lot of that turnover. Now, we're not going to stop all of it, people. Life happens.
Right. But how about writing a resume?
Oh, yeah. I helped somebody change, a friend of mine, name will stay anonymous, said, I'm looking for a job. And I said, awesome. He said, do you know anybody in the banking industry? I said, not down here. You know, I know a few people, but not anybody that was hiring for what he was looking for. And I said, not down here. I said, you know, what does your resume look like? What does your LinkedIn profile look like? So I got on his LinkedIn profile, and there was no way a bank was going to hire him because he had the wrong wording in there.
Right.
So we went in, and I switched I said, change this word to this word, this word to this word, this sentence to this sentence. We got rid of words like opportunity or fun or image, anything about going to NASCAR races. We got rid of that, and we made it very blueprint.
All right.
Very structured, very blueprint, very banking. And he got 2 offers within about 3 weeks.
Awesome.
2 offers in about 3 weeks.
We need
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Jeannie, I cannot tell you how much you have shared, how much you have taught me tonight. I hope that you have learned something too, especially this last part about personality. That can help us all. But if you would like to have any of the help from Jeannie, contact me on my Facebook page. You'll have my number at the end of the show, my email address. I can put you in touch with her. We can come and see you, and she can show you how to do all these things. This has been an hour-long special. My monthly show, my 30-minute show will be taking place shortly in the new year, whenever that is, in 2019. Please come and join me. I want to have many, many more exciting and fun things to share. Maybe you will come back in a few months and share how great the last few months have been. Would that be okay?
That would be amazing. I
Yes,
would love that.
Yes. And
Awesome.
we'll talk again later. Thank
Okay.
you again for visiting Vickie Talks. Have a great evening.